Hello guys, welcome to Top Anime Sensei. This video is the continuation video after the largest faction, so if you have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description, and please check out my second channel Anime Sum Up for amazing recaps of different anime. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates. The outskirts of Dwargon, Ingracia, Eurazania and Sarian. The one near Dwargon had already been connected with a highway, with inns lining it. The goal of the current project was to widen the road and lay down tracks, specifically for the Maggia train. We also hired adventurers as paid labor. Because of the job offer, it had quite the surge of popularity. The site was full of energy. On the Ingracia side, it was just like Dwargon's route. The difference was that the one in Ingracia was already broad enough, so we could start laying down rails directly. It wouldn't take too long before it was finished. The one leading to Eurazania was next. For now, we had everyone working on jobs such as widening the road while preserving the natural environment. The wood cut down from the process would be transported to the new but still under construction capital. That was why we had been making arrangements so that the supplies could be shipped out at a faster pace. The road leading to Sarian, on the other hand, was not progressing so smoothly. We initially began with cutting down forests, but it was taking more time than expected. The main workforce there consisted of high orcs. They could use stomach to transport material. As they were the most skillful of workers, the task of widening the road should have posed no problems. However, they were also required to transport the wood they had cut down. This type of work required more manpower, which would only be sufficient by the time the operation in Eurazania was complete, and the two construction crews rendezvoused. First, our workers needed to be able to traverse the forest, after which, we planned to gradually build and then pave the road. We would only start drilling the tunnels and laying down tracks after everything was complete. This was the current situation on our four main fronts. Some people were against the idea of running the Maggia train to the armored nation Dwargon. They claimed that predicting the movements of the Eastern Empire was impossible, and that there was a possibility of information leakage. Furthermore, they were afraid that the Eastern Empire would steal the Maggia train and repurpose it for military invasion. In that way, the Maggia train tracks we went through all the trouble of laying down could turn out to be a double-edged sword. Others were also worried that the route was going to be sabotaged. Some even suggested that we should build a fortress to face the Empire. The inn-town near Amold River had a large residential area. They were arguing to settle at the location and turn the town to a strategic fortress city. I had considered the proposal, but ultimately decided against it. I thought it was meaningless. Right now, we still had no idea what the Eastern Empire would do. The thought of adding more to our growing pile of work definitely put me off. Even though we had more manpower these days, there were still a ton of things that needed to be done. However, this did not mean that we were being careless. It wasn't that we were sitting idly by with the assumption that the Eastern Empire wouldn't launch a preemptive strike, but rather that if the other side did seriously attack us, then we would simply do our best to crush our enemies. I did not want to continue dealing with them with a facade, and it was incredibly foolish maintaining a high level of vigilance all the time. It depended on how the Empire came at us, but we intended to meet their challenge with full strength and force a short yet decisive victory. Among our ranks, some of our lieutenants also agreed to this more direct approach. By the time the war began, the train tracks, among other things, that we spent so much time putting down would likely be destroyed. However, even if that turned out to be the case, we could always construct them again. We should not delay the progress of our development just because we were afraid of something that might happen in the future. The same goes for the Angels' invasion. No matter who our opponent was, we would not back down. We will roll with the punches when the time comes. We would simply have to rebuild what was ruined. While it was crucial to think about how to protect these things, people were more important, not objects. As long as we protected the craftsmen, then everything would turn out fine. With this resolve in mind, the construction and development of the projects were carried out at an incredible pace, thanks to sheer determination and planning. The last location I visited was the Kingdom of Farmanas. Following our agreement, Yum found some workers to handle the preparation duties tied to the opening of the Maggia train. We received reports that they had completed both selecting an initial route for laying track and the subsequent site surveys. This was progressing faster than I had anticipated too. I thought they would only handle the matter after the farming season, yet Yum, or rather, Myuran, seemed to prioritize the train tracks. It's only rational. If the agricultural products of our nation can be exported to other nations, then that means the foreign currencies earned will enrich our nation. I'm well aware of this. In addition, it'll make it easier for ration support to arrive should there ever be a famine. When this wonderful Magitrain is complete, I will not allow our nation to be ill-prepared and lack the necessary infrastructure. Myuran declared with a smile, clearly more concerned than I was. Despite the fact that she was now the queen of Farmena's kingdom, she still very much cared about the nation's policies. Ha ha ha, I am honestly useless these days. Rommel was good at these things, so I sent him to supervise the field operation. With a wry smile, Yum introduced me to a man named Rommel. I recalled seeing him before in the past. He was Yum's mage companion during his time as an adventurer. Rommel nervously reported the current situation to me. Scrolling on a precision map that was the equivalent of National Secret, he pointed out specific locations to pass the road and rails through. The map also clearly indicated the results of each detailed survey, just as I had instructed. We all agreed that I would finalize the measurement in the end, which was why I headed immediately to the construction site. I then used the rest of the day to double-check all the information. While there is still room for improvement, everything seems to be in order. Did you assign someone to keep records of each region? Yes, everything has been completed according to your arrangement. Then please inform the person in charge that they need to resurvey this section here and here again. It looked like they were doing a good job nurturing new talents. The accuracy of the schematic that had been drafted was within the margin of error I had permitted. While some teams seemed to have exceeded this margin, it showed that they had been undoubtedly studying very carefully. Although I asked them to re-evaluate their surveys, they should be able to find the mistakes themselves. While it might be harsh, we couldn't let this go that quickly. It would be meaningless if I were the one finishing all the work since I had incredible precision. I hope to encourage the new talents by having them finish all the procedures by their own hand. Considering their present skill level, this minor investigation shouldn't take long. We might even begin the construction early, so I'd have to inform Kaijin and the others to prepare the automatic barrier-producing magic generators beforehand. They had a proven track record. Thanks to the magic generators, the roads connecting our nation and the kingdom of Bloomend were safe and sound. The stone tablet would also glow after reacting with magicules, meaning they could be used as landmarks in the dark. Both travelers visiting Tempest and the patrolling soldiers gave high praises to the invention. Here in the kingdom of Farmenas, the magicule concentration was lower than that of the Great Jura Forest, but I still planned to deploy some generators here. That day, I received a grand welcoming ceremony by Yum and the others. To be honest, I never expected you to come here by yourself. Young master is just as easygoing as usual. I'm really jealous. Yum, who had been drinking quite a bit, expressed his envy of me. But he was mistaken. I was not by myself. I brought Ranga with me. Ranga is here too. Do you require my service? Master. Responding to my words, Ranga extended his head from my shadow. Whoa. So you were there, gave me a good scare. Of course. Even though there shouldn't be anyone bold enough to challenge a demon lord, protecting my master is my duty as a subordinate. Please have this understanding when you act as the ruler of a nation. I'll pass. When Edgar can stand by himself, I'm getting rid of this boring king role. Edgar was the son of the former King Edmalus. He seemed to be a pretty clever lad and his royal bloodline was irrefutable. Yum thought his usurping the crown did not have a justified enough cause and wanted to have a proper member of the royal family act as the heir to the throne. However, Edgar, the person in question, Your Majesty Yum, please don't speak of nonsense like that. Now that Lady Myuran is pregnant with the heir to the crown, it's only natural for him to inherit the throne. My dream is to serve that person in the future, so please don't say something that could be taken for unnecessary dispute. He didn't seem to want to be king as he rejected Yum's words. As opposed to that, hold on a second. Didn't I just hear something important? I was in the middle of passing a drumstick over to Ranga when I froze, and instead asked Yum what was on my mind. Lady Myuran is pregnant with the heir to the crown. Doesn't that mean Myuran is pregnant? So a greater Majin could have a child with a human that easily. Could it be that your majesty has not told your benefactor, Rimuru-sama, about the heir? Well, it was too embarrassing to reveal. I felt it was a bit awkward to bring it up. Edgar appeared quite baffled as he inquired, whereas Yum and Myuran answered almost simultaneously. You guys are seriously a match made in heaven. Speaking of which, I recalled that when monsters gave birth to children, they would be weakened. Would Myuran really be alright? It should be fine. I was originally human. So even though my strength will weaken some, it won't matter too much these days. With my knowledge of magic and skills, I shouldn't be inconvenienced too much. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched the previous parts, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates.